What's up, guys? It's Damp, and you had all requested that I finally take the time now that the Cove update is out and update my Man-at-Arms, the Arbalist, and the Houndmaster videos. So it's that time. So we're going to talk about the Man-at-Arms first, and what we're going to review is you'll see them there in the corner is the two ways that I feel are the best to play the hero, and we'll also talk a little bit about the trinkets and what trinkets you really want to focus on in order to maximize their abilities. So typically I would first talk about quirks, but I made a whole video talking about the best quirks to keep. So go check that out if you want to see it. Ideally you want to focus on things like speed, dodge, and crit for your Man-at-Arms. The other way to play it, since there's two ways to play, you could focus on strictly being a meat shield. So you'd look at Prot, you'd look probably at dodge as well. But go check out that video and that'll kind of give you an idea on where to go. So to start, we're going to look at the combat skills. So these are the four most important that I feel if you're going to play like the first style, which is a buff bot. So in the buff bot style, you're going to run them in slot 4 typically to use this shield. And you're going to still be a meat shield, but you're going to focus primarily on when you're not taking damage or when you're not using your retribution skill, seen here. You're going to buff with either being a defender or buffing the party's dodge and speed. So you can also use crush if you just need to finish somebody off, but this role in slot 4 is primarily just to focus everything on the Man-at-Arms. Now the disadvantage is that in order to use crush, you can see you have to be in the first two spots, so he would have to be shuffled around in order to use that. But primarily what you're going to focus on the fourth slot is I usually will start him in the third, pop retribution, and then move him back. Or if you start in the fourth slot, you're going to drop retribution and then just take the accuracy buff here. But you guys can see he doesn't have a ton of abilities in the fourth slot outside of these three buffs. So you're going to want to move him if you're utilizing this style. You can't just leave him there. You either start him in the third spot and move back, or you start him in a different position and eventually move him to slot 4, because that's where you're going to get your Prot bonus. This is typically useful on a boss fight to encourage the boss to hit him. You can also utilize it if you're having difficulty in a dungeon and you just want to only focus on one person to heal. He pairs really well with an occultist, because if he's taking most of the damage, the occultist single target heals better than the Vestal does. That kind of explains why you would use him in position 4. Now if you use him in position 3, what's nice is your trinket options open up quite a bit. You have the camouflage cloak, which is really good. You have some solar bracers, which are also pretty respectable. You can see the list I have there. The sun cloak's not bad, because what will happen is you'll notice is in the fourth slot he's really limited. Sure, he gets more heals, which is great. That makes it even easier on a boss fight with an occultist, so he pairs well. But he can't really damage anything, so it's almost like if he's not buffing, he's kind of a waste. So figure in this position, he's going to be how the Jester was a few patches ago when I made the video that talked about him. Now, moving on to the primary way that I see most of you play with him, and I get most of the questions about, is if he's in the first slot or the second slot, he could be utilized really well. And at that point, I'd either stack Tough Ring and a Focus Ring. Solar Bracer is also really good. Primarily you want to stack dodge because he's going to be encouraging people to attack him. So it's better to dodge, especially if you have the quirks to support it, because he's not going to take any damage at all. Outside of dodge, you could go to Prot and then go to crit just to reduce some stress, because he's going to take a shitload of stress, to be honest with you, as much as he's going to encourage people to attack him. So that's primarily the two play styles. It's pretty simple. You probably knew the second one. Some people know about the first one with buffing, and I think that's a different option, and it just changes up your play. So check it out and see if you like it. He does, I feel, have the best camping skills currently in the game, and if not the best, they're very, very close. Weapons practice is awesome if you're going to use him offensively. If you're not, then the instruction, tactics is good, And then this is really, really good. Maintain equipment as far as a dodge. So kind of what the devs are showing you is, if you look at what's available here, this is how you should really play your character. And a lot of people don't really pay attention to that. But a lot of the camping skills that are here are direct indicators of the style you should give your character with the self buffs that are there. So like the Hellion has really good crit and straight line damage. So that's what she's used for. If you go back and look at the Man-at-Arms, you can see dodge here for all companions. If you wanted to take this, you can make him a damage dealer. It stacks really well with Retribution, because Retribution essentially gives you an extra attack that you don't have to pay for. You just pay for it in him taking damage. So hopefully that part of it makes sense in how you'll play it. I do feel this is one of the strongest characters in the game currently, and this is right after the Cove patch. I think that if you're having problems on bosses and you don't have the Man-at-Arms, you should take him. Diseases and quirks that you really want to consider, you can find those in the other video that I have there, because I really wanted to try and keep this short. But primarily you want to stack dodge on him, then a little bit of prot, then some crit, because crit will help him manage the rest of the party's stress, because he's going to be doing extra damage with Retribution. So with that, hopefully that helps you, and hopefully it helps you position him better in your parties and gives you another option as far as a playstyle go. So thank you for watching. Give me some other questions in the comments, and I'll try and get back to them. I've been on the road a lot, like I told you guys before, so I'll get to them as I can, and I will be putting out a lot more DD content in the future. So thanks for watching. Send out some requests in the comments, and I'll hit you guys up with some new videos soon.